Hi there, YouTube. Musical Livery here. We're being at Inkerman Station. The sky is blue, but that is not likely to remain that way. Bit of rain happening. So the intention is to move the aircraft to an airport that has, concrete, that kind of stuff. So we can have it on solid ground instead of mud. And it's always good to move our position along. So Inkerman Station is only about 90 miles from Normanton. We're going to fly the single leg. It's not going to take long, probably about 45 minutes to an hour. And that'll be it for the night. So just an hour long stream today, not even there. Hi there to ASHP01, which looks like Airship Oxygen 1. Sorry. And Aaron. So after takeoff, we're just going to pretty much fly south, maybe kind of clip over the Delta Downs and then straight into Normanton. Looking at the wind and weather in Normanton, we do have some showers of light rain in the area, scattered 2,000 feet. From 1100, showers of light rain, cloud going down to 1.5. Let's look at the METAR now. METAR currently showing no cloud, 31 degrees. If we get down there early enough, we'll have the aircraft on concrete by the time these showers come through. Ashton. Thanks for Ashton. I'm sure I won't remember that. Mind like a sieve. Anyway, here's Inkerman Station. Obviously no diagram of the airport itself, because it's not really an airport, it's just a cattle station. We have a Unicom. They do have avgas here. Runway 1129. It's 1,300. There's a Telstra phone tower near the homestead and a 83-foot tall unlit mast. Delta Downs has a 0927. CTAF 126.7. Brisbane Center on 118.6. You can get it in the circuit area. We've even got a phone number here. And then Normanton itself has runway 1432. So which runway we're going to go to, depending on this. 32. Clear. Cool, so we'll land on 32 and then pop over there. That's all good. We're going to walk out to the aircraft. We're going to push it back slightly and then push its nose to the left. Commercial flight will be on Friday night ops, which is our Saturday morning into Seattle. And we'll probably do another one the day after that as well. Actually, it's air show. Just be doing the Seattle. Dodgeball 86, how are you doing? So yeah, the brief is we'll push the aircraft out and its tail kind of blocking the way of that Piper, and then we'll head on out up the taxiway. What's the wind doing? Wind is from the north today. And so runway 29, I guess. Cool. Well, let's jump on in. Continuum's cockpit. That's alright. Most people are a bit of a prick first thing in the morning. That's why it's nice and late in the afternoon. Let's get the flaps down. Actually, first thing I want to do is drop the pitot cover. That's done. Pitot is on, flaps coming down. Power's off, I'll take these up as well. Walk around time. Let's check the hanger first. Cool. Good old long reach. That's a relatively long flight. Normanton to long reach. That's run something very fast. Certainly a lot faster than this old thing. Cool. Fuel drain looks good, no water in there. That will have settled by now. We've got about 2/3 of a tank. No water in there either. No nicks on the prop. We have 3 blades, nothing loose, and nothing in the air intakes. Oil looks fine. Might get a top up at Normanton. Plenty of fuel in there. Looks like we've burned a little more on the right side than the left side. Cool. Chocks are off. $172 over 5 days. You know, that would be pretty cool. Like a road trip, but you don't need roads. Flaps are looking fine. Alright, jump in the front here and we'll do the old pushback thing. Jump the guy out. So with this little tow bar, you click on the big T, you get the tow bar on the aircraft, on the nose wheel, and you push. You have the brakes off, of course. There we go. And you push forward. It's on the yoke, so we're pushing the yoke forward. It'll roll the plane, and as you turn, the aeroplane will start turning in that direction. Checking those wing tips, making sure they're clear. I want to put the aeroplane on the dirty kind of gravel patch just behind us there. And bring it to a stop. Tow bar comes off. And we're done. Let's jump on in. Hi there, Aaron. I still don't know what routes are available, so I won't commit to any route until we do. Let's close. Okay, let's brief what we're doing here. We've got a dirt runway. They're calling it grass, but let's be realistic here. It is dirt. We'll be taxiing up to the runway that way, and then which direction are we using? 29er. Alright, so we're actually going up the short direction. We're kind of taking off in the opposite direction to when we came here. When we do start the engine, we're blasting off behind us. Just a little check about what's happening back there. Nothing much. And when we do start the engines, we want the windows to be closed. Standard briefing. If there's anything wrong with the aircraft, I'll probably shut the engine down and tell us if we do need to get out of the aeroplane for any fire, smoke, electrical arcing, whatever. Make sure you go to the door nearest you, which would be the right one if you're in the front seat. You open the door by pulling on the latch. It'll pop up and you can pull it open. Make sure you don't hit your head on the flaps on the way through and meet towards the tail of the aeroplane. My suggestion is to walk along with your head down until you pass the flaps before you turn towards the tail. Suggested to walk towards the tail of the aeroplane because there is a propeller at the front. You don't want that chopped up like mincemeat. Looking at the weather today, clear skies for now. There is a front moving through. Hopefully we'll beat it. If we don't beat it, we have some pretty interesting weather down in in the forecast. So tonight's weather is moderate showers of rain with occasional probable thunderstorms and heavy rain, moderate rain it says. So let's beat that into Normanton and we'll stay there for a couple of days in the wet. If you're comfortable, make sure the seatbelt is fastened now. And if you want to put the laps over the top as well, don't really need to. Aaron's using subtitles, which is always hilarious because it says nothing like what I'm saying. Currently I'm reading my own subtitles and it says comfortable, make sure the seatbelt is fastened now, and if you want to put the laps over the top as well, don't really need to. It's getting it relatively okay. There you go. Hi there, Jack. How you doing? Window is closed. We are on. Let's give it a shot of fuel pump. Fuel pump's happy. Down here. Up there. Alrighty, clear prop. Just had the brakes on. There we go. $1,000 RPM. All our parts ready. We're essentially at sea level, so looking at the altimeter, 1006. Cleaning out the mixture. Flaps coming up. Taxi lights on, nav lights on, beacon is on. Gonna stick Normanton in here. Which river was that? Stat. STA something. Staten also. Cool. Alright, we can make sure we're on the right frequency. We're showing 126. That's the Inkerman. Yep, it is. Beautiful. And we're on standby 1200. Gonna start transponding that one. Quite happy. Let's go. Traffic Inkerman Station. Zulu Charlie Uniforms at Cessna 182 at the parking. We'll be taxiing out to runway 29. Departure southbound. It's 33 out there. Might open the window again. Love me a bit of air. $89 miles to Normanton. Hi Dodgeable 86, haven't gone this year yet, but I'm hoping to. Just gotta save up the funds. Find myself an instructor. Yeah, we're just going to stand off here at the edge of the runway, do a run up, and we'll have to backtrack. Right about there. Brakes are in. Window closed again. Looking for 2000. Looking good at the bottom of the green. Let's drop a mag. Back up. Other side. Both looking okay. That's doing okay. Store 1000 RPM. And out we go. Traffic, Inkerman Station, Zulu Charlie Uniform, Cessna 182, entering runway 29, the backtrack. There's a bit of liquid over there. Standing water. We'll cut through here. Same dodgy, very nice pitch sound. No, it's the prop pitch that changes, and the RPM changes as a result of the prop essentially almost feathering. Engine can't push it through. But yeah, that's a prop pitch changes the RPM. Bunch of birds down here. A little bit of the local wildlife as well. Alright, if you're ready, seatbelts are all ready, let's go. Traffic, Inkerman Station, Zulu Charlie Uniform, departing Inkerman Station runway 29, departure to the south, left hand crosswind. Inkerman station. Traffic Inkermans or Charlie Uniform turning left crosswind of runway 29er, climbing through 1000. Three and a half on the RPM. I was about to monitor Brisbane Centre, but he went offline. We'll flow down to the top of the green. Might head up to about 4,500. Of course, descend down to 2,500 as we get a bit closer, but keep it nice and relaxed today. To run. What is Normanton now? Normanton at the very bottom of the Gulf of Carpentaria, right about there, where the Gulf turns into the Northern Territory. So it's pretty close to the Northern Territory. Normanton is also one end of one of Queensland's, I don't know, famous little railways. What they call the Gulflander motor train. It's essentially a large public bus that runs on the rail. Go through there. Where was that again? Staten River. Staten here and Gilbert next. It's a very Dutch name, S-T-A-A-T-E-N. So the Staten River that river right there. This was first visited by Europeans, a Jan, Y-A-N, Cartens, 1623. Cartens is another Dutch explorer. So here's right down here after William Janszoon reported back in 1606 that he'd found something down south here. Jans Cartens comes along and visits this part of the coastline and across the Carpentaria Gulf. Nasty Coles, I don't have the E-jets yet. Not sure if I'll get them either. We'll see. Virgin obviously don't fly them anymore. Air North is in major financial difficulties, so give it about a month and we may not have any E-jets in Australia anymore. I guess we have the Cobham one, don't we? And that's the Gilbert River coming up. So Gilbert River is famous for. The Gilbert River would be famous for being the longest river system in northern Queensland. Okay. And the river is named after Ludwig Leichhardt, in honour of John Gilbert, who was killed 2 weeks earlier in an engagement with Aborigines in 1845. Leichhardt ended up in Port Essington. We're going to actually visit Port Essington on this series of flights, probably in about two to 3 months from now. Port Essington is a ghost town now, nothing there apart from ruined buildings. Used to be the port that they're hoping, well, eventually Darwin turned into, slightly different location. Port Essington being no longer a place really, just a ghost town, nothing much there for hundreds of miles around. But back in its heyday it was actually the largest town in Northern Territory. The first town in Northern Territory. It could go up another 1,000, up to 6.5. Lots of very New South Wales centric names up here. We have Leichhardt, and as we pass over the Normanton, the Gilbert River, we pass through the locality of Yagunya. township of Yagunya, there are no schools. So children go all the way down to Normanton. Dodgeball looking for me in the real world. Bit of a spot right about there. Might chuck the autopilot on and get rid of it. Why did people settle in Yagunya? Oh, that's Aborigine stuff. No white people there. Just an Aboriginal locality where they've probably been living for many thousands of years. Before white people came along, they didn't have a town, and then white people came along and said, "Oi, you Aborigine folk, you have to get off the beaches and go into this town, because we've decided that's where you're going to live now." So they did. Yeah, there's not much down here in the top end of Carpentera Gulf. There's a couple of mine sites further north. That ranch that we took off from, which is running 10,000 head of cattle. And there's not even any roads down here at the moment. You go into the map view. There's one road that goes to Normanton, up here to Marani. That essentially runs out of road. So up here we have the cattle farm just south of Wallaby Island. There's Kawanyama, which is an Aborigine town. And this is another ranch. This is another ranch, and that's the Aborigine town inland. It's essentially cattle farming up here. Barely any roads, a couple of rivers, and then you hit Normanton. Let's see what they do in Normanton. That's probably the largest town here. And by largest town I mean it has 1,210 people, according to the last census. There was gold in Normanton, short-lived, 1884 through till about 1891. So it's about a 10-year gold boom. What do they do now? What do they do now? Industry. Not much. Prawns. Okay, they do prawn trawling. So prawning and tourism. That's pretty much it. So while there was some gold in the whatever it was many years ago, pulling the pitch, I'm looking for 24 to 23, between 23 and 2400 RPM, and then we want to use the red lever to push the EGT up as high as it can go, and just before it flips back down. So you want to go just lean of the peak. So as you pull back, the peak should rise a little bit, so the EGT is increasing, not to any particular number. You just want it to rise when it starts falling again, then you give it back until it's just before the rise, just before the peak. It's kind of an odd one, that one. So keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling. EGT's rising. Gonna push it up to the red line, it'll probably drop back again a little bit. There it goes. So I want it lean of that. So just under the red line, and we're good. Yeah, so I've got manifold pressure sitting in the 20s. I'm going to push that all the way up actually, just to get a bit more speed out of her. That there is oil pressure and temperature, showing at about 175 degrees Celsius. Fuel, we've almost got full tanks, but right hand side tanks feeding more than the left, so I'm just going to switch that over for a bit. Another big temperature there is the cylinder head temperature. In fact, I can pull that down by opening the cowling flaps a little bit more. Public holiday milk run. Nothing, because it's only a public holiday in one state, Victoria. It's not a public holiday anywhere else apart from Melbourne. So I should think about what we're doing end of month. What week is that? 30th. Interesting. Across the pond week is a spilled milk run. Alright, we're just about over Delta Downs. Delta Downs is another one of these ranches. A Delta Downs station. There we go. Pastoralise cattle station. 4,000 square kilometres of cattle. Operating, there we go, in the 19th century. It's an Aboriginal owned cattle station. 43 head of cattle. 43,000 head of cattle. Turning a profit of about 800,000 a year. Dang. So who would have thought that? Aboriginally owned a cattle station that we're over now. Yep, last paragraph is indeed sad. Very sad indeed. In 2013 they had to essentially quarantine all of their cattle. Wondering what that big river is next to Normanton, and it's pretty obvious. It's the Normanton River. Duh. Alright, Normanton, let's have a look. Normanton, AWS phone. Bring that up. Give him a call. 07, isn't it? Checking numbers. 3564. Yep.
Automated Weather Information Service. Normanton Airport. Time 0846 Zulu. Wind 300 degrees magnetic at 5 knots. Visibility 25 kilometers. Present weather. No significant weather. Cloud clear below 10,000 feet. Temperature 29er. Dew point 24. QNH 1006 hectopascals. Rainfall last 10 minutes nil.
That's all good for us. 29 degrees, wind 300 degrees, and QNH 1006, which is already set. Yeah, pushing the speed a little bit high. Gotta bring it down a touch. We're slightly to the north. We're essentially going to come in from the direction of the 1-4, and we're going to pop around left-hand circuit, runway 32. CTF 126.7 set. I use my telephone and I just called the phone number for the AWAS. Right there, that one there. So yeah, that's the real AWAS, Automated Weather Information System. "25 miles out, we're expecting to arrive at the hour, which is about 10 minutes from now. Normanton traffic, Zulu Charlie uniform is a Cessna 182 6500, 25 miles to the north of Normanton, estimated circuit time 5-9er, and we're expecting runway 32 traffic Normanton. Couple of small creeks. I think this might be Normanton River coming up. It is not. That's the Karen River. Right. Aviator 447, how are you doing? There we go. Pilot's out. And we'll start a nice slow descent down to 1005. Unpressurized aircraft, so the slower you make your descent, the less hard it is on your ears and your esophageal tubes. Yeah, I'm not doing too bad. Meeting up with a friend tomorrow, so that'll be fun. I have to spend most of Saturday afternoon cleaning up my car and my house. Sean Ralph, that is the plan. Get FS 2020 with its, you know, massive photo real scenery and my 100 megabit per second download rate. Fingers crossed, sometimes. And do the entire trip again, probably backwards. Start from Melbourne and head out towards Adelaide, then Perth before heading north. So yeah, that'd be quite interesting. See it in P3D land and see it again in Microsoft Flight Sim's photo real scenery. Aviator 997, are you flying to the air show on Sunday or driving, catching a train, let someone else drive you? Fun to see the entire country from you know, 6,000 feet down to 1.5. Looking good, cool. Hope to get out to Tayab. Haven't been out there for ages, man. Missed the last air show. But no real excuses this time. I can just jump in the car and go. So I see on the previous shots, some of them. Yeah, Ayers Rock. We haven't even got to Ayers Rock yet in in this. It's fairly late in the tour actually, so it'll be good to do it backwards because it'll be fairly early in the tour going the other way. Supercars. That's a little slow for me. Although that DA62 looks pretty good in the new sim. Synthetic vision and all. Have to increase how it's at right now. Traffic Normanton, Zulu Charlie Uniform, Cessna 182, descending out of 5,000 feet on descent, 1,500. 10 miles north of Normanton. We'll be joining downwind at runway 32. Traffic Normanton. Indeed, you're not even allowed to climb the thing now. Runway is in sight. Totally. Back flying is quite fun, except for you don't get to interact with air traffic control all that much. Until you come to, like, you know, Moorabbin or Bankstown. Yeah, we had an interesting rate of descent down to 2,000 up, 2,000 feet in a minute. I'll probably stick it to about 1,000, keep it coming down. Internet too slow to install it. Funny. If you think V2 looks great, can't wait to get FS 2020 because that will look even better. Into the downwind. Traffic Normanton, Zulu Charlie Uniform, Cessna 182 is extended downwind to runway 32. 32 is set, let's run a checklist. Brakes are released, undercarriage is fixed. Mixture going full rich. Prop RPM set fully forward. Fuel pump on. Seats and harnesses are secure. Instrument is set. Indeed, you won't have any more orbits doing this kind of flat land, entire continent stuff, but you will, in my opinion, still have the need of airport developers. It looks like the three-dimensional buildings at airports at, for instance, Normanton will be fairly default, although they'll look really good, they're going to be generic. So I'll probably have a lot more developers making small airports rather than the big chunky, you know, stuff. Fuel selector both, thanks for that. Thanks for the reminder for 997. You were watching, weren't you? The town of Normanton. 1,200 residents. All hanging out there catching prawns. Probably shipping beef. They might do that, but I reckon that they might do that with the help of OZX and similar. I don't know about an RPT service, I'll have to check that when we land. Traffic Normanton, Zulu Charlie uniform is turning base runway 32. If they do have an RPT service, it'll be probably something rather small, like you know, Clippers Aviation in Cessna 204s or something. Flaps 10, and we'll start the turning. Traffic Normanton, Zulu Charlie uniform, turning final runway 32. And the rest of the flaps in. Got scared off by the stall warning horn. Didn't keep the flare in. 1000 RPM. Ah, Rex and their Saabs coming here as well. They seem to be everywhere these days. Traffic Normanton, Zulu Charlie uniform vacated, runway 32. Alright, where are we going? Ooh, there's a nice aeroplane. It's been a while since we've flown that thing. I think we'll go and park next to that. $779 to fly to Normanton on Rex from Brisbane via everywhere. I don't even recognize some of those IATA codes, man. Anyway, parking brake is set. Flaps coming up. Shut down some of these things. And down we go. Cool, that's Normanton. Yeah, it is. Fly to Los Angeles and it's cheaper than going to Normanton in a plane. In fact, it'd be a lot cheaper just to rent a plane and even an entire pilot. I can't imagine it'd be $779 to rent a 182 to fly out to here with an instructor. Alright, let's jump out and put the aeroplane to bed. Alright, one door to close. I reckon this will be the last time we fly the 182 in quite a bit. I'm thinking of taking that VTOL plane out next time. I have to walk in circles again as usual. Prawns for dinner. Sounds good. Pitot cover is in, tie downs are on, wheel chocks are on. Yeah, four-way split 300 per hour. Get quite a bit done in that. And a 182 as well, so You know, got that little extra bit of speed. An entire extra 10 knots. Yay. That's true. 182s are a bit bigger than the 172. I like them because I'm really tall and quite large, so I fit in a 182 quite well. In fact, when I'm standing underneath the wing of a 182, if I put my head right in the crook, I might try and get the guy out again. He's just not wanting to do that, is he? Cool. So, when I put my head right here, I'm just tall enough to touch the bottom of the wing with my head. So 182 is perfect size for me. But yeah, I think next week we'll take the Bonanza VTOL. It's a very nice aircraft. There happens to be one right there. And it's a lot quicker than this 182. Next week we're flying Dumaji, which is from Normanton over to Dumaji. A distance of 130 nautical miles. And then after that we're probably going to head all the way down via Century Mine into Mount Isa. And once we reach Mount Isa, I do want to have 2 engines to do that 306 nautical mile slog, eventually up to Groot Island. And for that, I think we're going to take the Duchess. But yeah, next week, looking to pick up this VTOL that's parked right there. And we'll take that down to Dumaji and Mount Isa. The old Bonanza Dr. Killer. That is correct. A cheap joystick. There's this place called eBay. Anything from Cytec is probably pretty good. So yeah, that. Joysticks probably better than yoke for your first purchase, because you get those joysticks with a rotating piece, and they often come with a flap at the bottom as well. So essentially, with buying one joystick for like $50, you end up with ailerons, pitch. You've got buttons on the top of it, and you can twist it left and right for the rudder, and you've got the little thing at the back for your throttles. So it's essentially all of your controls in one device. Whereas if you buy a yoke, that gives you elevators and ailerons, and it might give you some throttles, but it definitely does not give you any rudders whatsoever. So get a stick with a twist grip. I have a Cytec Cyborg Evo. They're hard to find because they stopped making them in about 2010 or so. So you can only get them second hand now, which is a pity because you can use them in your left hand. Normanton, fun fact, there is the 6 metre long big barra, as in the barramundi, fish in town. Yeah, the honeycomb looks pretty good. CH, Cytec. But yeah, the honeycomb is a professional yoke which doesn't even have the spring system in there. It's got some really awesome stuff in there. But yeah, $400 for a yoke is a bit much. Let's get a joystick, a good one. I know the ones that I like, but they don't make them anymore. So, do they make the cyborgs at all? No idea. Ah, cyborg graphite. Does it have a twist? 3-axis control, X, Y, and throttle. It does not. Dang. But yeah, if you get a joystick, make sure it has a twist grip, then you can do that with it. And that is your rudders. And you need rudders. And even if you end up buying a yoke with throttles and your rudder pedals. You can still use the twist stick as your, you know, steering tiller in large jets. Anyhow, that is Normanton. That's also an hour and 15 minutes. I've been Musical Aviator, and I'll see you guys in about 2 days when we do Friday Night Ops into Seattle. And if I miss you there, we've got a Milk Run Monday on Monday, and sometime next week we'll be taking the Bonanza VTOL over to Dumagi. Till then, I've been Musical Aviator. Ciao for now.